such an incredible film. It just feels like everybody has embraced it so much. What were you excited to work on the most when you first read Robert Harris's book, actually?
Yeah, well, I mean, I read it in about a day. I was gripped. Then, it felt like a political thriller, but in a world that I hadn't seen before, that I wasn't used to, and so that made all of those tropes fresh. And it felt like we inherited the twin ambitions of the book, which was to be about something, to have something to say, but to do it as entertaining as possible. That's what we tried to do.
It's a film that really embraces duality in so many ways. So can you talk about what you included in the script?
Well, I mean, that kind of felt like the whole job of the script, in a way, to balance these opposites. It's a very binary world that the Cardinals are in, between good and evil, secular and spiritual, and the old and the new. And then, in a way, Benitez, the character who does become Pope, represents someone who breaks away from the binary in all sorts of ways. So that kind of felt like that's what it was always all about.
Yeah, and the modernity and the sort of slightly archaic nature as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember reading early in the book, there's a bit where Cardinal Tremblay says it's trending about the Pope's death on the internet, and it sort of made me laugh. And then that was a little seed for all of the other things that we suddenly realised were funny. Just to watch a cardinal with a mobile phone is funny. To watch a cardinal vape is funny. So that kind of felt like what it was about as well. That clash with the old and the new.
How is it writing dialogue for a protagonist who is kind of mainly quite quiet compared to some of the other characters?
I really love that. I did a film called Tinker Tailor, and George Smiley is a similar character in a way to Ray's character in this. So you're dealing with subtext, and also if you've got a great actor, it's so much about what's going on behind their eyes, and you can rely on them to do a lot of the work.
And when you watch the film back, which kind of performance really leapt out of you as something that perhaps you hadn't necessarily imagined, but really brought your script to life?
Well, I mean, I knew that Ray from Stanley and John Morgan would be fantastic. I hadn't seen Sergio's work before, who plays Cardinal Tedesco, and I loved watching Sergio. It made me laugh every time. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing. I'll turn it over to you guys. Yes, in the middle.
Hi.
Hi, Aoife Hayes, BBC Local Radio, and one of our stations, BBC Radio Newcastle, called me on Friday and said, if you get Peter, you have to ask him, because they're so proud of you in the Northeast, and it has a special place in your heart. And how important is it for you in your writing and your work to remember it, and also you give back there as well with other writers from the Northeast? How important of a place is it for you in your work?
I was just back there a few weeks ago, actually, and it was the first time I've been back for a while. And I went to do a talk at a weekend run by New Writing North at the Live Theatre for screenwriters, and it was New Writing North and the Live Theatre that gave me my very first break as a writer. So it was lovely to feel like it had come full circle, and it is a very special place for me, the Northeast. And I'd love to go back and maybe try and do something there, set something there for TV or a film.
And they're very proud of you up there.
Thank you.
Yeah, question here.
Hi, first congratulations on the film. My name is Lizzie from Geek Vibes Nation. I was just wondering how it was for you to step on set at the Sistine Chapel, because you guys built it and it looks amazing. And yeah, I was just wondering how it was for you. It
was amazing. I mean, when we were doing research, we visited the Sistine Chapel, and then I was on set in Trinity and walked into it, and it was the weirdest feeling to be in a big studio and then turn the corner and suddenly be in the Sistine Chapel. But it was green screen on the ceiling, so the only way you knew was if you looked up and suddenly you realised where you were again. But they did such a wonderful job, I think.
Thank you. How important was it for you to be on the set? Because I know that you did make a few trips.
I've never done it before, really, not to that extent. It was Edward that invited me, and it was fantastic. It's like running away with the circus. I want to do it every time.
And Robert Harris, how quickly did he kind of give his blessing for...
We had a very boozy lunch right at the beginning, and that kind of helped. Yeah, I was in. And then he was fantastic. He was incredibly supportive and generous all the way through the process. He was great.
Was he quite happy for you to sort of take the reins? Was he quite
involved? He was, and he was absolutely generous and open as it was. I did a very faithful adaptation of the book, so there wasn't an awful lot that for me to take the reins of that wasn't already there.
And what kind of a director is Edward?
I'm so tempted to sort of take the piss, but he's a fantastic director. He really is. And in every department, I think they think that he has the unique and special relationship with them. I thought it was with me that the writer, and then with the cinematographer, and then with sound, and then with the editor. But it's because he can do all of it so well, and he's a fantastic collaborator. So,
fantastic. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
Laura Kramer with Monocle. I just wondered, I just spoke to Carlos Diaz actually about the film, and he said he had a lot of ideas that he brought forward, so how much improv could the performers bring to the script? And I have a follow-up just about fact-checking with the Vatican. What was that process like?
Okay, so the fact-checking stuff, well, Robert had done a lot of research for the book. You know, Robert's a fantastic researcher. He's often working in sort of historical situations. Then we had a religious advisor during the script writing process that we checked, you know, protocol and details of ritual. And then we had a religious advisor on set as well. So we were constantly kind of checking, is this right, is this right? And Carlos, and well, with me being there on set, I mean, we made small changes, but it meant we could rehearse a scene, and if the line didn't feel right, because actors are so great at just instinctively feeling whether something's working or not, then we would adjust, you know, sometimes come into a scene a little later, leave a little earlier. And Carlos did indeed come with some ideas, and we would incorporate those. So again, I'm not normally on set, but if I suddenly thought I should be on set, this is really useful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions in the room? Ella?
Hello. Oh, I keep forgetting this. Sorry. Hello, Ella Kemp from Letterboxd. Just a quick question for you. Do you have a favourite line reading in the film? Obviously all of the actors are incredible. Is there something that you wrote on the page that felt very different and very satisfying when you heard it in the film?
I don't have a particular line, but almost everything that Stanley said that I'd written made it sound 10 times cleverer than the thing that I'd written.
You still wrote it?
I know. I should just keep quiet and say, no, that's exactly how I wanted to be. Every time he did, I thought, oh God, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Congratulations again.